Inside the private life of Andrew Tate's girlfriends, untold stories. In a world of fast cars, Rolexes, and private jets, where every post is polished and every phrase sharpened like a weapon, Andrew Tate emerged as more than just a social media sensation. He became a symbol. To some, he was a savior. To others, a monster hiding in plain sight. But what happens when you look past the Bugattis, the bravado, and the bombastic one-liners? What happens when the lens turns toward the women in his life? Not the fantasy, not the filtered lie, but the real women, those who lived in his shadow, in his control, and in some cases in his cage. This is inside the private life of Andrew Tate's girlfriends. Untold stories. The allure of power. Andrew Tate wasn't just rich, he was calculated. He didn't stumble into the spotlight, he engineered it. Every tweet, every podcast, every shirtless selfie by a Lamborghini was part of a master plan. To be invited, followed, and obeyed. For young men, he was a god. For many women, he was a trap. Bray Stern, an American model, says she thought she was stepping into a fairy tale. Instead, she claims it became a nightmare she almost didn't escape. Their relationship began like a dream. Gifts, attention, travel. But soon, the charm was replaced with commands. Then control. Then violence. You need to be hit. What's the point in having you if I don't beat you and impregnate you? Text allegedly from Andrew to Bry. By March 2025, it all came crashing down. Inside a hotel suite at the Beverly Hills Hotel, Bry claims Tate choked and assaulted her so violently, she blacked out. Her lawyer, Tony Busby, said she knew this was getting worse. But that night crossed every line imaginable. Sophie, the voice in shadows. One of the first to speak out was a woman known as Sophie. In a BBC audio investigation, she described falling into what she believed was a loving relationship. He was charming. There were no red flags at first. He said he loved me, that we were building something together. But soon, Sophie claims the tone shifted. Tate allegedly demanded she perform on webcam, telling her it was for their future. Resistance, she says, wasn't an option. Sophie, he'd say, if you love me, you'd do it. Then he'd shame me. He liked feeling in control. It stopped feeling like love. Sophie's story echoes that of others. Seduced by charm, manipulated by power, and eventually stripped of autonomy. Naghel Georgiana Manuela. Loyalty or leverage. Romanian model, Naghel Georgiana Manuela appeared alongside Tate in multiple social media posts. In one, he called her the woman I trust the most. In December 2022, Romanian authorities arrested both Tate brothers as part of a probe into human trafficking. Manuela was detained too. Her role remains murky. Was she a willing accomplice or another woman under his influence? Though released from custody, her association with Tate during the critical time of the investigation raises troubling questions. Sofia Gulieva, standing by the top G. In late 2022, another woman entered the spotlight. Sofia Gulieva, better known as Baby G, was seen with Tate in Dubai. A popular TikTok influencer and practicing Muslim, her presence coincided with Tate's public conversion to Islam. Some believed it was a spiritual partnership. Others suggested it was strategy, a calculated move to shift public image. As Tate's legal troubles escalated, Sofia doubled down on her support. She shared videos defending him and was photographed visiting him during house arrest. Sofia, social media clip. He's not who the media says he is. He's misunderstood. But critics argue her loyalty, like many before her, may be rooted in deeper psychological influence. Bray Stern, love, violence, and lawsuit. In 2025, American woman Brianna Bry Stern filed a lawsuit in Los Angeles, accusing Tate of sexual abuse, physical violence, and psychological manipulation. She describes a whirlwind romance turned nightmare. Love bombing soon gave way to demeaning behavior, forced sex acts broadcast without consent, and beatings, one of which allegedly left her with a concussion. She says he told her, "I love hitting you," and demanded, "You'll give me a child." Brea, voice actress. "I feared for my life. I remember thinking, I might die here. I had to escape." Her case is ongoing, but it marks a turning point. One of the first major U.S. legal confrontations Tate now faces. Lauren Southern, a chilling confession. Former far-right commentator Lauren Southern recounted an unsettling encounter in her memoir. In 2018, she met Tate for a business meeting. She alleges that night ended in a violent attack. "He strangled me unconscious. I fought back. I don't want to share the rest. You can guess what happened." She says that night changed everything, sparking her exit from the extremist world and leaving behind a trauma she now feels compelled to share. Behind the curtain of love. To understand Andrew Tate, you need to understand his system. Not the one seen on social media, but the one built on quiet domination, emotional manipulation, strategic seduction, and psychological games. He didn't just attract women, he recruited them. In his infamous online course, the PhD program, short for Pimping Hoes Degree, Tate laid out his blueprint. Flirt, love bomb, promise the world, then flip the script. The next step, turn them into workers for his webcam empire. "I f them so they listen to me," Tate once said on video. "It's not about love, it's a business." Women were flown to his Romanian compound under the illusion of romance. Many, like Jane Doe, thought they were starting a new life with the Tate brothers. But what they found was a cold machine, where love was transactional and consent, according to some, was blurred beyond recognition. "They didn't seem like girlfriends," Jane's lawyer said. "They looked like prisoners in designer clothes." When love turns violent, strip away the cars and bravado, and a darker pattern begins to emerge. Tate didn't just allegedly harm women physically. He showed others how to do it. He laughed about choking them. He boasted about controlling them. He normalized abuse as strength. In one video, he says, "If she won't do what I say, I slap her until she does." In private texts, Bry Stern once asked, "Why you want beat me?" Tate responded, "Because you deserve it." Many defend him. They call it role play. They say it's satire. But the bruises weren't satire. The panic attacks weren't scripted. The broken women weren't characters in a podcast. And now, the consequences may finally be coming. From Romania to the UK, charges are stacking. Human trafficking, rape, assault, organized crime. Still, Tate remains defiant. Still, free. The legal maze. Back in Romania, progress is slow, painfully slow. Despite raids, arrests, and headlines around the globe, there is still no confirmed trial date, and Tate is capitalizing on the delay. "If they had proof, I'd be locked up," he says. His defenders cheer. But behind the scenes, lawyers across multiple countries are building cases. One of them involves 21 charges in the UK alone, ranging from abuse to sexual assault. "We've never been convicted of any crime," Tate repeats. But Bry Stern, Jane Doe, and over a dozen other women say otherwise. They say their scars, emotional and physical, are conviction enough. To the women who stepped forward, your voices matter. To those still in the shadows, help exists. And to the world watching, it's time to look beyond the brand, beyond the bravado, and see the human cost of unchecked power. The untold no more. Andrew Tate built a kingdom, not of gold or power, but of silence. Silence from the women afraid to speak. Silence from the boys too scared to question him. Silence from a society that ignored the warning signs for far too long. But silence doesn't last forever. Now voices are rising. Victims are speaking. Survivors are fighting. And the illusion is cracking. In Tate's world, women weren't equals. They were tools, props, possessions. But today, they are witnesses. They are warriors. And they will not be silenced again. If this video moved you, if it made you think, then it's time to do more than just scroll. Subscribe for more stories that cut through the noise. Like to support voices that need to be heard. And share this video, because somewhere out there, another voice is waiting to be believed. This isn't just about Andrew Tate. This is about truth. And truth is louder.